Here we are on the desktop of your streaming computer. And what I've done, I've put 6 elements down here in the lower right hand corner that you're going to be using for your streaming setup. So first we have the PTZ Optics software. You'll be using that to control the camera. The second thing we have is a text document that holds the decedent's name. So whenever you update that name in that document, it is going to feed into the OBS Studio streaming software and show up on the screen automatically. The fourth thing that we have down here is the link to the Reese's Funeral Home Facebook page. That's where you would go to actually start the stream and manage it from that point. The other thing that we have is the webcam. This is the NDI webcam that actually brings in the video feed from the PTZ camera. So we want to make sure that we have that on. The last thing is the intro image. And this is just a folder that we have that will store the image that you have created for this particular funeral. And this can be displayed in the OBS stream in the intro of the service. Okay, so first thing that I would do here is go ahead and open up the PTZ Optics software. So double click on that. And then it's going to bring up the software control panel in the center of the screen. I will go ahead and take it and slide it over and put it up in the right hand corner, because it's not going to need to take up much space, and we want to have this space left so we can have OBS Studio. One thing that you want to go ahead and make sure that you do once you have the software open is go ahead and click on the button that says PTZ camera. That locks it onto that particular camera and will give you control of it. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and open up OBS Studio. So now we have the studio open. In the studio, you're going to have the ability to show the decedent's name here. This is listed from a previous service. So we're going to go ahead and change it so that it shows the one for our current service. What I want to do is go ahead and click on the document here that says decedent's name. And that's going to just open up a little notepad document. And that document does contain the name of the person that we want to show in our stream. So I'm going to get the name of the one for our current stream, and you can go ahead and type it in place. I have copied it from another location, and I'm just going to paste it in. Okay, so that is in there now. And what you want to do so that it is saved and it shows up in OBS, go ahead and go to File, and then click on Save. And as soon as you do, that name shows up in the stream. Okay, so that would show up on the intro page. Once we transition and show the intro for the funeral home, and then it would also show on the actual service page that is going to show during the stream. Now, one thing to keep in mind, as we see right now, we're not seeing a video image on the service page. We want to make sure that we see the video. And again, that is going to be brought in using the NDI webcam. Okay, so if we don't see anything from the video page, that's telling us that webcam is not currently running. And then when I look down in the system tray, I do see that it is not running. So to start it up, I'm just going to double click on webcam. And then after a minute, you'll see that the picture does actually show up in there. I have it preset so that whenever webcam is running, that it is bringing in the actual picture from inside the chapel. So again, we're going to use this along with the PTZ Optics control to control the camera. And you have some certain presets set in here. For example, the first one is the stage width view. So I click on that, and that's what we're currently at right now, is the stage width view. If I click on podium, it's going to go into a tighter shot of just the podium. And again, if I click stage, it'll come back out to that stage width view. We do also have a shot set for this area over here, the podium to the right of the stage. So if I click podium, it'll zoom into that area. Now, if you zoom it in and it's not totally where you want it to be, you do have controls to move the camera left or right. You also can zoom it out and in. But for the most part, these presets should get you to where you want to be. There's also a preset that is focused on the organ. So we'll zoom over to that area. We have a full shot that is basically the same as the stage, but it is zoomed out a little bit wider. And then lastly, we do have the wide shot that comes out even further and shows the full chapel area. So that's our controls for the camera. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and set an image that can show during the intro with image section. Okay, so what this is going to do by transition over, again, it is the same image that we have for our introduction, but it also has the decedent's image card that you created within your software. Okay, one thing I want to show you here, like you see right here, I don't like how this image shows because it's not big enough. I can come back over to intro with image and I can control the size of this image. So I can zoom it out so that in this case, we do want it to be prominent and be shown. So once I make that adjustment and transition back to it, it shows up the way that we need it to do. So this is something that you would do in your pre-setup so that everything is showing the way that you want it to show once you go live. And we're going to go through the steps to change this image out to the appropriate image for the service that's coming up. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to go over to the Reese's Facebook page. Okay, so we're going to go to Reese Funeral Services. And then we're going to scroll down and find the image that we want shown. Okay, and it's this one right here. We're going to go ahead and click on that image. And I know that you'll already have this available to you because you created it. But for my purposes, I have to go to the Facebook page to get it. So I click on it so I can get a large version of the image. Then I right click on it. And then I'm going to do Save Image As. Okay. And then it's going to give me the option to save it to the download folder. And it already gives it a name, but I want to change that. And I'm going to change it to Intro Image. Okay. And the naming of it is very important because once we get it over into OBS, OBS is going to be looking for that name to know what to bring in. Okay, so I can go ahead for now and get out of this image. And actually, right now I can go ahead and close up Internet Explorer. And then I'm going to open the intro image folder. Okay, we're going to move this over out of the way here so we can see everything that's going on. Then I'm going to go to the download folder, and this is what I just saved in there. I saved intro image. I'm going to right click on it, copy it. Then I'm going to hit the back arrow to take me back to that same folder I just came from, where it has the old intro image. Over here in the white space, I'm going to right click and click on the paste option. Then it's going to tell me that the destination already has a file named intro image, and it wants to know if I want to replace it. Yes, I do want to replace it, so I'm going to click on replace the file in the destination. So as soon as I do that, it replaces it in OBS. Okay, now since I had sized that other image up, this one is now too big. I'm going to click on the handles to drag it down and make it smaller. Put it in place and just however you want to do it to make it look the way that you need it to look. Go ahead and modify the size of it. So here we go. It's in place. So now if I transition over to it, that's what it's going to show. So in the normal course of things, as I'm starting the stream, I'll start with the regular intro. I'll let that go for a minute or two. And then I'll click over to intro with image so that they can see that one. And each one that I do, I go to intro to make sure that you transition it so that it shows on the program side, goes out on the live feed. Then when I come to intro with image, again, I would transition that one so that they can see that on their side. And then at the appropriate time for us to go into the service, I would make sure that I have my camera set to where I want it to be. Normally it would be maybe at the full setting when everybody is coming in, and then go ahead and transition over to that. And at that particular time, the people that's watching the live stream would be seeing the service. Okay. The next thing that we need to do is to actually go into the Facebook page and set up the stream. Okay, so here we are in the Facebook page, and what we want to do is click on the option over here to go live. We want to make sure that it's set for streaming software. These little pop-ups, I go ahead and click through each one of these so I can get these out of the way. We want to go live with streaming software, so make sure that's set. Important thing down here is the streaming key. This is a piece of information that should be already set up in OBS, but if we're not able to connect, we would want to copy the stream key from Facebook, go back over to OBS and plug that in so that it would show up correctly. So over to your top left, you have a couple of items on your checklist that has to be done before you're able to go live. First is connect to video source. So connecting to the video source is getting it set so that OBS is transmitting to Facebook. So if I jump back over to OBS, all I want to do here is do start stream. Okay, that would start sending the feed over to Facebook. At this point, you're not live. You're just sending information from the funeral home to Facebook. So now if I come back over to the Facebook page, it shows connect video source is checked off, and we see that we do have a feed coming in. The next thing that we have to do is complete post details. That's this area here that lists the information that the viewers will see on the Facebook side. And it's two components that have to be filled out here. The first one is what's your live video about? And I usually just put in celebrating the life of and the decedent's name. So I click on that and I can give it a title. And then I will put the same thing usually in the description. Now, you can put more information in there if you have it. This is pretty much a free form text field that you can enter whatever information needs to be there. So you need to fill out both of these sections and then click save. Then over on our checkbox, it shows us that this step has been completed. So then it says the next thing to do is go live. Once you fill in these two items here, then you're going to get the blue go live button down at the bottom. Previously, that button would not have been available. And then whenever you click that button, your service will go live. So then what I normally do here is go ahead and once I click it and go live, I'll go ahead and minimize the Facebook window, because then everything is being handled over on the OBS side. So again, you have the options to manually move the camera as you need to do. Use any of your presets to change the camera shots. Remember, stage, podium, organ, full shot, and wide shots. Okay, so that is really everything that you have to do from a setup standpoint. Once the service is started, I'll jump back in and pull some more information about how to actually handle things through the service and when it gets to closing down the service. Okay, we're back here to start the service. I'm going to start the service starting with the intro screen. So I have that on the screen. I'm going to go over to Facebook Live here. We're going to transition to the intro with the image. Then we're going to transition into the actual service. And I'm looking at another device and I'm verifying on Facebook that we are actually live. I'm showing currently I believe the wide shots, and then when the appropriate time, I'll zoom in closer. So at this point, I zoomed in on the podium to give you a podium shot. He's a little bit taller, so I did have to manually move the camera up by using this up arrow. So at this point, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to move over to where the people are going to be singing and try to zoom in a little bit on their position.
I may not know there are some places I go.
Yeah, at this point, I'll let you know that I really would recommend that they think about upgrading the sound system and go with something like the XR series of mixtures like you have at your church, and some cordless mics. It'll make it easier for situations like this where people aren't at the normal set positions like the podium or that right hand podium, to make sure that we always have a clear feed of audio going in. And what I usually do when something like that ends, I come out to a stage shot, and then I can go into the podium. Again, I'm going to bring it up a little bit to capture him in the frame. Okay, so this is one of the challenges we need to work on. Like right now, from that podium right mic, we're not picking her up. So we need to make sure that we have that mic on, and hopefully that's something that we can improve on if we do upgrade the audio system. Here's that the mic is off.
To thank God for being here and keeping me in my right mind.
God got to love one another, even as you have loved us. In Jesus' name, amen and amen.
Okay, so at this point, I'll come back out to the stage shot. Then I'll click on the full shot to get a wider view of the sanctuary. And as everybody starts to proceed out, I'll switch over to the wide shot. So now I'll catch the wide shot. And then after everybody is almost out of the sanctuary, then I'll go ahead and end the stream. Okay, so as the last people file out, we want to go ahead and stop streaming and stop recording. That's one thing that I didn't show at the beginning, is that we start a recording to save a copy of this on the hard drive of the computer so that we can provide it if needed. So we have the stream going and we have a recording going. So we can just do a fade to black. stop streaming and stop recording. At that point, if we look back over on the Facebook side, we'll see that it has ended over there as well. So then we can go ahead and close up Facebook. I generally will go on in and transition back over so that the service screen is being shown. And at that point, you can go ahead and exit out of OBS. And we're finished with the process. So let me know if you have any questions about that, and we'll be happy to go over it with you.